The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome to the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense on the Spartan Media Network.
Throws the home run ball deep. Nick Marsh at the 10-yard line of Maryland. Angles to the right pylon. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Childs takes a shotgun snap. He'll keep it. He has daylight. He's inside the 5. On his feet, into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Here we go. Back comes a little bit of a high snap. The kick is up, and it's good. Spartans win.
The Jonathan Smith Show is also brought to you by MSU FCU. Spartan fans, dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union. Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light, choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartans athletics. And Michigan's premier motor coach company. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. And Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. Now let's join our hosts, Jehuu Caulcrick and Dalton Shetler.
Hello all and welcome to the Coach Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We are live at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. If you want to join our audience for any of the MSU Coaches shows, make your reservation by emailing coachesshows@onenorthdining.com. Glad to be here with you all. Again, my name's Dalton Shetler. We have Choo-Choo, Jehuu Caulcrick in the building. Give him a nice warm welcome, everybody. How we doing, Jehuu?
I'm good. I'm excited to be back. I missed last week, and you guys had like 2 guests, Coach Izzo. I was sitting at my hotel watching, all jealous.
Some FOMO, just missing out on everything.
Just a little.
And, of course, we have the staple and the namesake of the show, Jonathan Smith. Give a nice warm welcome, everybody. Hey, Coach Jonathan Smith. How we doing, Jonathan?
Yeah, we're doing solid, Dale. Another week of work and all that. It's always good to join in the middle of the week on a Wednesday night and talk about some football.
Absolutely, and there's so much football ahead that we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be having Grady Kelly come out to join us, defensive lineman for the Spartans. He'll be here in a little bit. We'll get to know a little bit more about him. He's got some pretty interesting things going on in his personal life that we'll be digging into.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and start here. Obviously, the past weekend, tough loss to the school down the road, 31-20. Jonathan, look, we finished that game. Jehuu and I are talking in a post game. It hurts. It stings for everybody, right? It stung for us. It stings for fans. I know it stings for you.
Yeah.
You regroup with that team Sunday. What do you say to the guys?
Well, you go about regrouping, right? And so the start on Sunday is what we do is we tell the truth and talk about kind of the preparation leading in, and then the tape and what shows up on tape. Talked about really not second guessing in any way the approach these guys had. They were amped to play in regards to the week of work they did and the energy they played with, and there's a couple plays that make a difference in games, and obviously we want to clean those up, and we coach to those up. Also talked about moving forward. We get better at this and that. We got a better chance to break through here and those kind of things. So we got still things in front of us, games to play that we're excited about and that create opportunity. And so that's how we treat it really every Sunday, talking about how can we learn from this game and then definitely focus on moving forward.
Yeah, and so talking about that game, and I want to give kudos to the guys that was out there playing, because there was that game was a lot of things were not in our favors, and I know people don't want to talk about it. I know you don't want to talk about it, but we didn't get it. It didn't feel like a home game from the referee side of things. I mean, it's pretty tough when you're battling those elements there. And once again, I know, Coach, you're going to say no excuses, we should execute and everything. But as a fan, as a former player, that's something that it's getting to be a point where it's all you can do. You talk about sending in film to the to the conference. All you get now is an apology,
Yeah.
like that offsides call, all those things. Just talk about the frustration with that.
You put a lot into it. There's no question, and there's the frustrating part to come up short. And a call could have gone our way a couple of times, things like that. There's definitely calls that were correct, right? We didn't play the cleanest football, and we're much more capable of that. At the same time, you focus on what you can control, and that is outside of our control. And so you're focused on the things that you can do better. And again, celebrating some of the things in regards to we did a little bit better. I think about a punt team, and Eckley had great hang time, which was going to be important in the game. And so there's positives to talk about and emphasize, even when you're short on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Eckley did have a really good job, and watching it and being on the punt team, that's great when you can have that hang time, getting down there and utilizing, stopping that special teams.
It is, and if you get that kind of hang time, your coverage unit is going to be better in the field position, and that was a critical part in those games. There's a couple of series that we had better field position that we need to be able to finish on. Fourth down, we come up short a couple of times in the second half, could have made a difference. And again, I don't want to just like sugarcoat. Let's face it, we get a call against us that dramatically changes the game, against you. Those are tough, but that's why you line up and play in this game. It's not a game of perfect, and those officials aren't perfect all the time either.
Well, and I mean, to that point, not that you want to play shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I mean, you talk about a call that goes against that dramatically changes things, and you bring up those fourth downs. I think maybe it gets lost on folks. You convert those couple of plays. I know it's a cliche, the game of inches, but you convert those couple of fourth downs. That call doesn't happen. Things could play very different.
And that's why it just echoing to our bunch of we are going to break through here. This isn't like we're dramatically far away from finding ourselves victorious on a Saturday. But yes, a few of these plays we need to execute on, and it's gonna break through sooner than later.
We're certainly looking forward to that one. We'll be talking about some more of those bright spots from this past weekend when we come back in just a moment. When you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local teams across the Midwest, from big league stadiums to the neighborhood ball field. Learn more at Meijer.com/community. This is the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance, here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Hey, Spartan fans! It's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU football games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU football. Let's go Spartans! SeatGeek.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.ufmhealthsparrow.org.
Experiencing a Spartans game is a lot like life. We honor traditions. We shed tears for a loss, but also for a win. And every time we step on the field, it's a chance for greatness. Farm Bureau Insurance sees the connection and is a proud supporter of Michigan State athletics. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Welcome back to the Coach Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We are here live from One North Kitchen and Bar, East Lansing, for all the Spartan Coaches radio shows. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. Hey, and before we get to the next piece of business here with the Jonathan Smith Show, I do want to mention this. As a matter of fact, if you're joining us on the visual medium up on the camera up there, you can see this hat up here. It's a part of something really special that One North Kitchen and Bar does. Delta Waverly Rotary and One North Kitchen and Bar are holding the 3rd annual Veterans Day tribute at One North on the west side. Sherry Jones is emceeing the tribute beginning at 8:30 a.m., followed by a free buffet for veterans and their guests at 9:15. All veterans or active duty service members are encouraged to sign up using the QR code at the host stand or go to onenorthdining.com/events. Really neat thing One North Kitchen and Bar has done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and applaud that. Served about 150 different vets, they said, last year. Feel free, veterans. Go take advantage of that. They want to feed even more moving forward. Well, now let's go ahead and move to our Spartan Player of the Week.
Tonight's Michigan State Player of the Week is number 5, Mekhi Frazier. The sophomore running back from McKinney, Texas, had 14 carries against the Wolverines for 109 yards, including this 49-yard rush.
2nd and 11. Running to his right is Mekhi Frazier. He's into the secondary. On his feet at midfield. Angling to his left. Left sideline and inside the 30. And finally bumped out of bounds deep in Michigan territory at the 25-yard line.
Frazier leads the green and white with 493 yards on the ground this season, averaging 4.6 yards per carry, and has a pair of touchdowns on the campaign. All of this makes your Michigan State Player of the Week, Mekhi Frazier.
There you have it, Mekhi Frazier, the Player of the Week. Got to be making a former running back like Jehuu Caulcrick pretty proud over there.
Absolutely. Mekhi did a tremendous job. And anytime as a running back you leave the game, you average 7.8 yards per carry. That's a really good day at the office. And, congratulations to Mekhi for that. Had a lot of really big ones. And he's such a great runner that truly runs with his eyes.
Yeah. Eyes of his vision there, setting up blocks, and obviously had that long one to really create a spark for us in that second quarter, almost a 50-yard. Then we turned into a score. Some of the things, it was a great run. You talk about his eyes, his vision on that, but I think the thing is getting well blocked. Even further down the field, you can see the effort of his teammates getting down and trying to continue to add to his carry there, and then we punched that one in. It was a huge run in the second quarter.
Well, one of those downfield blocks came from Aiden Childs on that run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how often you want your quarterback going down there and being the lead blocker on a big run like that, because defensively that's a green light to try to light your quarterback up. But hey, great job by Mekhi. And you talk about that run game. The Spartans, once again for the second year, had a running back go over 100 yards rushing on this team. And talk a little bit about the offensive line. We got a guy back in early in the game, and I think Stan got back there. Talk about the camaraderie of the growth of the O-line.
That group went to work. Again, I think going into it gave us a little spark that Stanton pushed himself to wanting to come back and go, and then so it started the game. He wasn't able to finish it and all that, but that group did create some holes for Mekhi to have a productive day, and that's a meaningful stuff. And we still like to be able to have balance, and running the ball is a huge factor in this thing. And there were some really good carries that not all about the back carrying the ball. It's those guys up front.
Well, I think we threw a lot of numbers out there during that Player of the Week sound montage and some different things. But one thing that Mekhi Frazier does that is hard to maybe show up in just the box score. I mean, you saw the success in this last one, but he's one of those backs who just simply doesn't quit.
Yeah.
He has a way of churning his legs, keeping the feet chopping. It's a pretty special feature that you look for in runners.
Yeah, that's interesting because we do notice that, like the initial contact he takes, right? Like yards after the carry, oftentimes the initial contact, initial tackler is not bringing him to the ground. He's always fighting for extras, and that's what you're asking for, really, not just of your backs, but every guy carrying the ball is that they're breaking a tackle or falling forward.
Defensively, Jordan Hall again leads the team in tackles. He had 9 against Michigan. That's even with leaving for a small stint in that second half. But what did you see out of your captain linebacker, Jordan Hall?
Yeah, battled throughout the night. He really did. He wasn't 100% healthy. None of us, mid-season healthy, I'll call it, but he is a grinder. This thing means a ton to him. Kept on battling out there, made some good plays and tackles and got us in the right calls. I did think overall defensively and schematics of it, there wasn't a bunch of busts going on or anything like that. We needed to possess the ball a little bit more in the second half. I do think we got worn down a little bit in the second half, and when they were running the ball and not throwing it.
Yeah, and another guy on that defensive line that I think that did a tremendous job was Jalen Thompson.
Yeah,
on that edge position there. 6 total tackles there. Talk about the importance of setting the edge while also, he's a guy that's athletic enough that can jump in pass coverage or also get pressure on the quarterback.
We do ask him to drop once in a while in pass coverage, but you got to be able to set the edge physically, right, for the run game. It's not, and then transition into a pass rush. If the guy goes into a passing pocket posture and things. He got around the quarterback a couple of times, hurrying it, and they didn't throw it a ton, but he did affect the passer when they did it, and he's playing at a higher level on that edge of the defense, the run game, and affecting the passer.
Yeah, and then also staying with that defensive line, I think some guys that really stood out as well. As usual, Mr. Reliable Alex Van Summeren, he did, but a guy that stood out a lot to me was Jalen Satchel.
Yeah,
he had to go in because Ben got hurt, and he made the most of his time.
And Satch's got some elusiveness and explosiveness to him besides just, holding the point at the B gap or things like that. And he did. He played with really good effort. He got banged up early in the year, so we weren't getting the most out of him. And he has worked to get himself back. And he had multiple plays that stood out in this last one.
You brought up Alex Van Summeren. Alex Van Summeren started his 20th straight game in that one against Michigan. There on the defensive line. He's become a bit of an Iron Man there up front.
Yeah, physically Iron Man, mentally Iron Man. This guy, he does. He makes it physical, and he goes and he practices that way. Even today, pointing him out today, we get back in shoulder pads and we're working, and this guy is going, even though he's started so many straight, and doesn't takes full advantage every time he gets to work.
I do want to lob this point out here, too, for both Jonathan and Jehuu. We talk about the defense, and you mentioned, especially that first half, how strong Michigan State was. Just to point out again, the score at the break was 10-7, and offensively, you had a fumble in there.
I know.
You had some different penalties, but the defense found a way to stand tall throughout the first 30 minutes, only allowed 10 points.
And that was huge, because we did. We started with early turnover, great field possession for them. They held them to a field goal. They did keep us in that game in the first half, flying around and going, and momentum swing, whether field position turnover, they bowed up to limit the points.
Yeah, and in order to limit that, I think that people need to know when a turnover like that happens, there's a thing they practice it. It's called sudden change.
Yep.
You practice it that your offense got momentum going, the defense just comes off the field, and a turnover happens. Hey, defense got to go back out there. So talk about that preparation for those situations.
We try to almost recreate that all the way back to the way they train in the summertime. Summer conditioning and the weight room, you go out and get on the field and work to get into condition. And we recreated in drills then all the way back in June, July of this sudden change of he's got the offense out there doing a particular thing. And then all of a sudden he's going to swap the defense. They begin to get tired and they quickly get the other group back out there recreating a sudden change.
It's pretty cool stuff. Hey, Spartan fans, Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. Show up to donate blood to help support your school and help them win $1 million for the student or community health. Score a limited edition Michigan State t-shirt and save lives. Go to big10.org/Abbott to get in the game. We're live from Lansing with the head coach of the Spartans, Jonathan Smith. Our show is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. You're listening to the Jonathan Smith Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
At the 10-yard line of Maryland, angles to the right pylon. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU.
The Spartan football team returns to Ford Field in Detroit to wrap up the regular season against the Maryland Terrapins. Make it a part of your Thanksgiving weekend on Saturday, November 29th. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Ticketmaster.com to order your tickets today.
Calling hard seltzer lovers. Searching for the tastiest seltzer? Look no further. Neutral Vodka Seltzer is absolutely delicious. Made with real vodka and real juice, Neutral keeps it tasty with every sip. With flavors like pineapple, watermelon, orange, and lime, there's something for everyone. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch. Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation, 4.5% alcohol by volume, St. Louis, Missouri.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
We are back live on the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. All right, folks, I think everybody can see here in the building that's joining us, and of course on the video stream as well. We're now welcoming up to the stage number 16 in your programs, a 6'2", 295-pound defensive lineman. We have Grady Kelly in the house. Give a nice warm welcome, everybody. Grady, thanks for swinging by with us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me on.
We have so much fun to get to Grady with here in just a moment, but Grady gets to sit in here and see our Alumni Hall trivia. Today's winner will get tickets to the next home game and a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall. If we bring the trivia question forward, and we have a mic just down here on the end of the table, feel free, if you think you have the answer, come up and give us your answer. We'll see if you win 2 tickets. Our question: which Spartan quarterback holds the record for the most passing touchdowns in a single game ever by throwing 5 in one afternoon? You think you have the answer? Come over to the microphone. We'll see if you get 2 tickets.
Before we go, Lucas, don't let your dad get you again. I will give you 2 tickets to the next game. Don't let your dad give you the wrong answer.
Oh, that's great. We'll see what answer comes. We'll see if we get Lucas back up here at the microphone again as well. Back to our guest here, Grady Kelly, who is at the a matter of fact, we have somebody jumping up to the mic now, and we're going to go ahead and jump to it. We might have to get him up close to the mic. Excellent. What's your name, bud? Where are you from?
I go by Billy, and I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh,
Billy from Ann Arbor.
Go home, Billy. I don't care if you're a kid. Go home.
Billy, you could have picked anywhere else, buddy. Billy, what is your guess for the trivia?
Cousins.
It is not Kirk Cousins, but that is a good guess, Billy. Thank you for playing. We'll see if we get the correct answer here in just a little bit. A matter of fact, I think you might have enticed something here, Jay.
Oh, Lucas.
Lucas is making his way back to the mic.
It's like Tosh.0, redemption.
All right, Lucas, what is your guess?
Jeff Smoker.
It is not Jeff Smoker. Jehuu, get after his dad.
Lucas, listen to you. I told you I'll give you tickets. Don't listen to your dad anymore when it comes to trivia. Listen to him for everything else, not trivia.
Well, speaking of dads, we've got one here on the stage in Grady Kelly. Everybody give a nice big applause. Grady Kelly, just about a month ago, welcomed in a new son, Shiloh Gray Kelly. He and his wife, Elian. Congratulations, Grady.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You got to tell us, to be in the green and white, in that locker room, going through the hustle and bustle and the grind of being a football player, to also be welcoming in your firstborn at the same time. What's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely crazy because it's such like and so many people in here have experienced it. It's just such like a life-altering event to happen, and balancing that and football. And but man, like I have such a strong wife, and she's so amazing, and she's understanding. I've been in football for 5 years in college, and she's been with me the whole time, and she knows the grind of football. And I think it's just about being intentional with my energy and when I'm at football, pouring everything that I have into football. And then when I get home, like just making sure that I can be there and support her as much as I can through the whole process. But I mean, it's been the most like amazing and surreal experience of my life.
That's awesome. So that is great, and again, congratulations. So with this, you're going to have support and everything. Talk about the support from your teammates. I know Jordan Hall's a guy that went and visited the very next day. Talk about what that's meant to you.
Yeah, I just love it. I mean, I feel like he's already got like a ton of uncles with guys on the team. I have just everyone from like Jordan who came and visited me. Q's came and met him, and just so many guys have sent so much support and love, and so many guys are like excited to come meet him soon. And I mean, just like what an amazing and special connection that you're gonna have with teammates, that they care about you enough to support you. And I have no doubt Jordan was talking about if the baby didn't come on the Saturday, obviously, like he wanted to be in the hospital with us. So I think it's just really special when you can have teammates that like actually feel like family, and I have no doubt Shiloh will call them uncles as he's growing up.
That's awesome. You came here in January. You're a veteran presence here. How has the adjustment been to the adjustment at Michigan State been for you?
Yeah, I did the transfer to Florida State and got that experience, and coming up to Michigan State, I definitely would say like, not all programs are built the same as far as like bringing in new people in the transition of it. And I would say, I mean, just like, I have my best friends I've ever met here on the team, and I think that just goes to show you, like, I haven't even been up here for a full year, and the family environment that's been created and the way that guys take in new people is like, it's special. I mean, I really feel like, like East Lansing is like our home, and we just love it up here, and it's just been really special for us. And so the transition, I think it's never easy, especially, my wife moving across the country with me. It's never easy to transition, but when you have a place that's so welcoming to you and with open arms and people that actually love and care about you throughout the whole process, I think it makes the transition a whole lot easier.
That's pretty cool. That speaks pretty big testament. Absolutely. Go ahead, clap it up for Michigan State and the way they've welcomed Grady in here. Before we continue on, I believe we have another guest for our trivia. Again, for the folks at home, which Spartan quarterback holds the record for the most passing touchdowns in a single game by throwing 5 in one afternoon? What's your name? Where are you from?
Tim from Rochester Hills.
And your guess?
Drew Stanton.
It is Drew Stanton. Excellent work. He had 5 touchdowns against Illinois back in 2005 in a 61-14 win. We'll get you those 2 tickets. Thank you very much for playing with us. And, of course, a big thanks to Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. All right, we talked about Grady Kelly, and I'm going to go back to the dad route for a moment here, too, because, look, I was going to
say, you got your cup of coffee. Go ahead.
No, that's good. Jonathan was already cracking me a little bit because I had the coffee here at 7 o'clock at night, and I said it's because, well, Grady, just to let you know, I had our firstborn. I didn't. My wife had our firstborn child. Let me go ahead and clean that up. Yeah. Just about 5 weeks ago, just over a month ago. Wow. We're both new dads here, Grady. Awesome. I was going to say, so do you have any thank you, clap it up. Do you have any tips for me? I don't have any for you.
No. You're asking the wrong guy. There's probably a lot of people in the room a lot more qualified to answer that question than me.
Well, so the both of you guys, and I was, there's only in our house, I say this all the time. So 3 rules in the Caulcrick house. You don't get married during football season, you don't give birth during football season, and you don't die during football season. And I'll have to say, the 3 of us here broke that. I broke my own rule too. Last year we had our son. He was on the 21st of October, so just a week old, and it was the due date was actually falling on the Michigan game, and I was like, hey, that baby's been there, a little induction early kind of thing. So we did do an early induction. It was during the bye week, so it all worked out.
Naturally, right? It all had to play out just like that. Well, Jonathan, you're a dad. You got dad tips for Grady, myself, or even Jehuu as he's still going?
Yeah, I guess I'd summarize it. You want to be around to help, but at the same time be ready to stay out the way. But it is a life-changing, beautiful thing. And he's right. These guys are celebrating. I'd be curious because I think this was just a couple weeks ago, right? We were on the road about to play a game. And we always have a team prayer before a team meal, right? And we prayed for you because it was going down right at that moment. And this team and whatnot. I guess I'd ask you, Shiloh, Gray, tell us a little bit about how that name came about.
So Shiloh, my wife liked forever, and I just didn't really ever like the name. But like the more that I guess she mentioned it to me, the more I liked it.
Good answer.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I guess like when we always ask like Q and Jordan, and Lex, like some of our friends, like what names you like, and everyone always likes the name Shiloh, and I was always the guy that was like, I don't know if I like Shiloh, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we just it was like a last minute decision. I mean, like we were probably like an hour before we were about to leave the hospital. Like we had a different name. His name was going to be Kanan Zeal, and we had that written on like the thing to turn in for the birth certificate and everything. And like not even an hour before we left the hospital, like we scratched it out and put Shiloh Gray. And yeah, and his middle name is kind of like a little bit of a tribute to me a little bit. Like my wife, whenever we were like all growing up, through like middle school and high school, like that's just what she called me, and we just thought it would be like a sweet sentiment to our relationship, and then being our first son and name him Gray.
So you guys have been together for a long, long time.
We've been best friends for a long time. I was stuck in the friend zone for a long time. But we've been best friends since like 6th grade.
That's awesome.
How did you get out of the friend zone?
I just prayed, man. I just prayed, man.
Hey, sometimes that's all we can do. We've got some more about your journey we want to get to. I know we do got to get to a break in a moment, but real quick, and it might be our last dad comment for the moment. Joe Rossi said you got dad strength now. Are you feeling that too on the line?
Look, I don't want to. There's a lot of dads that earn their dad strength through carrying the babies and everything. So I don't want to jump and say I got it quite yet. But I feel it coming on a little bit though. I'm earning my stripes slowly.
We'll be looking forward to watching that. We'll stick around with Grady Kelly in just a moment. We'll be back with more from the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. You're on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Zoe, got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us, with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended, balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99, and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Labatt and Game Day, the perfect combo for football, friends, and a little friendly fire.
Nice jersey. Guess they were out of adult sizes.
Labatt is the beer that's there for every good-natured jab, every ridiculous comeback, because with friends, roasting each other is just another way to say,
you're an idiot, but I love you.
Labatt, brewed for the roast. Always enjoy responsibly.
Thanks for joining us for the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Spartan football fans, we hope to see you at Ford Field on November 29th when the team takes on Maryland. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com or visit MSUSpartans.com for more info. Go green. I always pause and wait for the Go White to come next. We still have Grady Kelly joining us up here on the stage, and we've obviously talked a lot about your personal life, Grady. But let's talk a little bit about the fit here at Michigan State. You talked a little bit about the culture that it is here in East Lansing. I want to get a little bit more specific, too, because a couple weeks ago when Quindarius Dunnigan came out here, was talking with him a little bit, and he said, I picked Michigan State because this man here, Jonathan Smith, but also Coach Lengi Suianova. And the defensive line room and the culture and the man Coach Lengi is. If you could share a little bit of insight for the folks who may not be aware of what he brings to the table.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll speak on, I think him as a person, I think he's just an amazing person. He's family-oriented guy. He's like one of those coaches that just actually cares about you. I see him reach out to old players that he's coached all the time and just have genuine conversations, not about football, just about life. Just to speak a little towards his character. But, I think as a coach is he's someone that wants to be detail oriented and push you to be great at the small things, not just the big things, but he's so detail oriented in everything that we do. And I think that's one of the things that drew me to have want to come here to have him coach me, is because he just, we go back and we're doing day one drills right now because they need to be perfect every day. And I think that that's something that not a lot of coaches, sometimes they let the small fundamentals go by the wayside, and he just never lets that happen. And one thing that I also really just respect about him as a coach a lot is I think you'll go to a lot of places where coaches will coach the starters and they'll coach the backups and the scout guys. When season comes along, they get handled by the GAs and the scouts, and Coach Lengi just won't allow that at all. He's coaching everybody to the standard every single day. And I think that's special about him as a coach.
That's awesome. And the really cool thing is every coach, every player that we've had on here, have talked about their position coach, in that way of all men of character, all men of, and I know from talking to, Coach KB, Coach Keith Bonify, he talks about his former guys that he coached. He talked about the stable, and, shout out to him. He lost one of his guys, running back Doug Martin, passed away. And, I know that was hurt him deeply. And he talked about that. And so it's just really cool that this coaching staff are coaches of character and are turning, young men into grown men and fathers and all those things. So that's really cool to see. And that's important in today's landscape of college football, is having these guys that can mentor young men into, future fathers and great husbands. So let's continue this. In high school, you did weightlifting, basketball, track. So what was it that drew you to football, and were you good at the other ones, or were you just athletic and you just played?
I was decent at weightlifting. I was pretty good at weightlifting, actually. I'll toot my horn a little bit. I was good at weightlifting in high school, and track kind of. I threw shot put. I wasn't running or anything like that. But I was good. I'm still pretty decent at pickup basketball and stuff like that. But I think I was just in love with the sport of football, just what it was like. I think in all the other sports you can shine as an individual, and I think there's something that's really beautiful about you can't have one dude that's great. You have to have a team full of people that are committed and chasing the same goal and on the same mindset and track. And I don't know. I've just always loved the sport. I like that it's more physical than the other sports. There's a lot about it. My dad coached me. He loves football. He coached me in football growing up, so I think that played a part into it too. But there's just a lot about football that I just really love.
Well, we're starting to get closer to yet another break, but I do want to get a couple things in here real quick. Jonathan, we've talked about Grady Kelly, everything he's handling with his life, everything he's doing as a player. But you also went out and you grabbed him out of the transfer portal. You saw something in him. What makes Grady Kelly so special?
Well, it definitely starts with the film, as we're evaluating and the needs and the what we're going to ask him to do at the the line of scrimmage. So we do have some connections to Florida State. I know Mike Norvell really well, and they could not speak louder on the character. And I think all of us are witnessing that here in this conversation. So that really stood out. I do think coming to bringing the character, the work ethic, the skill set, all those things, we felt awesome about adding some of that to our D-line room.
Jay, you got anything else for Grady before we get him out of here?
Yeah. Now that you're a new dad, wear Nike school, so you can't get the New Balances, but you can't get the Air Monarchs. You know, you can get those as your game cleats too. You know, get yourself a sponsorship.
Some jean shorts. Hey,
know.
what do you think, Grady? Commit to the bit.
I might. That's all the guys are saying on the next walk. I need to do just fold dad out.
Be on the lookout for that when Penn State comes to town, folks. Everybody, give a nice big thank you to Grady Kelly for coming out and joining us. Grady, thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Frankly, you'll want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on all of our Spartan Media Network affiliates. Presented by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find a local independent agent near you by visiting www.fmins.com. The Jonathan Smith Show is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We'll be back with more after a break here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.ufmhealthsparrow.org.
Hey, Michigan State Spartans, ready to one-up your rivals off the field? Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. By showing up to donate blood, you can help your school win $1 million for student or community health, score a limited edition home field designed Michigan State Spartans t-shirt, and most importantly, save lives. Go to bigten.org/Abbott to find a donation location and put Michigan State in the lead.
Auto Owners Insurance presents the Jonathan Smith Show. Hey, even Sparty knows everyone needs a timeout every now and then, so why not take yours at the beach? Myrtle Beach is home to 60 miles of warm, sandy beaches, over 2,000 restaurants, and much more. Enter now for your chance to win your very own beach break getaway. Compliments of Visit Myrtle Beach. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/MSU to enter. Your ultimate beach break is just a click away. All right, next up on the clock, it's a road trip to Minnesota. Jehuu, what do you like so much about this matchup with Michigan State and Minnesota?
Yeah, I think these two teams match up really well, and there's a lot of familiarity with these two programs there. And, so, Coach, let's just get into it. Talk about, let's go Minnesota defensively. They do a lot of things similar to what we do with their sets. They play a lot of nickel coverage and, their backers and their active D-line. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the schematics is solid. They've been good against the run and in total defense. This is a good outfit. They play good team defense. You can see where they want the ball to be going into the multiple players. Starts up front, active player up front. That it can create some havoc at the line of scrimmage, and they've been solid on that side of the ball for a long time. You look at Coach Fleck, obviously Coach Rossi, a long time with them, and that has been established with Coach Fleck over 9 seasons and those things, and the thing starts on defense for Minnesota.
Yeah, so so offensively, without obviously giving away game plan or anything like that, how you talk about the offensive line again. given the camaraderie there and the communication piece with that, with especially how active Minnesota's defense is. How important is that?
Yeah, the communication is vitally important because the movement you're going to see on defense, and you are on the road. Anytime you're on the road, it's got to be over-communicated, right? You get the crowd noise and things going that. You think about ways of attacking, again, not giving away all this. We do talk about all this balance and things, but finding a way to get explosive plays against a good defense, right? And those are going to be a big factor to be able to get more than 5-10 yard chunk once in a while to get the ball in space, not have to deal with a lot of that quality up front they've got, get the ball in space a little bit.
Yeah, and then so going to the special teams side, that's a part that's always, forgotten, in a lot of time, but that's a lot of hidden yardage there. And we, a punter like Ryan Eckley, having that the big leg on him, the hang time. But let's talk about the kicking game. Going 2 minutes, an outdoor stadium. The weather's going to be cold. So what's the thought process with, the kicker, Connaughton, and, he goes out there, tell you, hey, I feel good from here, there, and how do you gauge that?
Yeah, you always gauge it, pregame, right? They're going to kick it both ways in the direction of the wind, anticipating the wind swirling, and that's, again, we got some background knowledge of the place from people on staff and things, but the pregame warm-up's important to find distance, which direction you're going, because sometimes it is dramatically different. Sometimes it's, hey, he's good from 45 this way, he's good from 55 this way, and so we do find all of that out. I think on the special teams end, they got a good returner. A good punt returner, and so we talk about this matchup, hang time, field position in this game. We've got to do a great job on our coverage because it's a pretty good athlete returning punts.
That's going to be a lot of fun to look forward to. That's a 3:30 kick on Saturday. Of course, we'll be taking the air at 2 o'clock. And real quick, completely shifting gears, but folks that have come out here to the coaches shows for a long time, loyal listeners, of course, we really appreciate you, but I wanted to drop over a note because before I came here tonight, I had received a note on social media from one of the folks who come to these shows quite often, or did for a long time, Stephen DeVitri, and he's been fighting cancer for years and years and years. I swung by his place, and he wanted me to pass along that he is starting hospice next week. So if folks, you remember Stephen, feel free to shower him with some love on social media. Would mean the world to him, and if you're the praying type, it's a good time to shoot up a prayer. So we'd really appreciate all of that. We're live with the head coach of the Spartans, Jonathan Smith. Tonight's show is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. You're listening to the Jonathan Smith Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Hear that roar? That's the sound of Spartan Nation. And Dean Trailways is right there, every mile of the way. As the official ground transportation provider of Michigan State Athletics, we connect Spartans to championships. For every game, every practice, every victory, we deliver it. Elite service that powers the green and white. When you demand championship-level transportation, Dean Trailways is your winning drive. Become part of our team at DeanTrailways.com.
At the Capital Region International Airport, we connect our community to the world with nonstop flights to Washington, D.C. and Chicago on American Airlines, Detroit on Delta Airlines, and Orlando, Fort Myers, and Tampa on Breeze Airways. When you fly Lansing, you're just one stop away from over 500 global destinations. And with direct flights to Cancun, Punta Cana, and Los Cabos from January through April, your escape to beautiful tropical beaches is easier than ever. The Capital Region International Airport, your gateway to the world. Visit flylansing.com for more information and to book your flight today.
It's game time, and the Spartans are ready to take care of business on the field. If you're looking to do the same, the lending experts at Greenstone Farm Credit Services can help. Greenstone specializes in financing wide open spaces, from homes on rolling acres to pole barns and hobby farms. This season, enjoy the home field advantage and contact one of Greenstone's 30 Michigan locations, or visit greenstonefcs.com to get your loan started. Greenstone Farm Credit Services. We finance Spartan country. Greenstone is an equal housing lender.
We are back with more Spartan football on the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Starting with the 2025 football season, One North Kitchen and Bar is your game day location for away game watch parties. Join us to watch Spartan football and then listen live as the game day radio hosts will break down the game. I'll be out here Saturday for that one as Michigan State goes to Minnesota. And in that game, we talked a little bit about it there, but Jehuu, we got to jump right back in offensively in this matchup.
Yeah, so, well, let's talk about, Minnesota's offense. We talked about their defense earlier. They have a really strong running game, and especially if you're playing at Minnesota, you have to be able to run the football. So give us your thoughts on their offense.
Yeah, they do a nice job running the ball, a couple good backs. Schematically, they challenge you a couple of different ways. They're not just running one scheme. They've got multiple schemes, and really then you can see it on tape. The quarterback does a nice job of getting them in and out of plays of the look they want. They got some potency on throwing the ball too. You look at them statistically and those things. So they've got a balanced attack that the quarterback's operating at a high level. The quarterback plays really well within the pocket, and that's his MO. This isn't one of these guys that extend huge on you, but they run that offense and they run it really well.
Yeah, and this is a quarterback, this is his first year starting. So I think defensively, I think Coach Rossi's going to be, licking his chops to do some exotic things and throw some stuff at him there. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, you want to challenge that. And imagine really on both sides, you want to be able to challenge those schematics and change up your looks and all of that. This team has done a nice job at home. You look at their entire schedule. When they're playing at home, they've had some nice wins and played well. And the toughest times they've had have been on the road. And so we're going into their place with an expectation that, they've played their best ball at home.
And that quarterback's name is Drake Lindsey, a redshirt freshman that we're talking about for Minnesota. We brought up Joe Rossi real quick before we get to a really cool Spartan story. He was down on the sideline this last game. What did you like so much about that?
Yeah, it does a little conversation of just, creating a little bit of spark. Coach Rossi does a great job through the week in regards to interacting, communicating with that unit, the defensive side, and felt like, kind of searching for a little bit of spark on that side. Wanted to get him. It wasn't as much for when the guys were currently on the field as more of the adjustments in between the series, things like that. For the first time doing it, we thought it went well, and we'll plan on doing it again this Saturday.
It should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Real quick, I do want to bring up this really neat story that I don't think everybody's aware of. Sixth-year co-captain Sam Edwards has been appointed as a football student-athlete representative on the NCAA Division I Board of Directors. That's the highest-ranking governing body for Division I. Sam's first board meeting was actually held yesterday. He has a vote on the board that includes university presidents and chancellors from across the country. It's a very prestigious honor on a long list of accomplishments that we know Sam has had this year. He becomes just the fourth FBS player in history to serve on the Division I Board of Directors. How about a big congratulations and round of applause for Sam? And we've had Sam out here on the show. Yeah. You both have gotten to talk to him. He's a special young man.
Yeah, he's great. Great kid, great family, and well-deserved for Sam.
No, of course, and he's got great perspective, with his dad heavily involved on the academic side, and obviously him being a student athlete to have opinion, be able to digest the information. It's really interesting to be able to talk to him on what the board meetings are like, what the topics are, and he's got opinions on those stuff.
It's one of the awesome things about the collegiate experience, and Sam Edwards taking full advantage. Win Michigan State hockey tickets. Sign up to Abbott's We Give Blood Drive to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to one of the Michigan State-Penn State hockey games at Munn Ice Arena. Go ahead and direct message at Spartan_radio on X with verification of your booked appointment to have a chance to win 2 tickets to this highly ranked matchup. We'll be back with more from Coach Smith. You're on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No, first base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest, from some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics. So crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Hey, Michigan State Spartans, ready to one-up your rivals off the field? Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. By showing up to donate blood, you can help your school win $1 million for student or community health, score a limited edition home field designed Michigan State Spartans t-shirt, and most importantly, save lives. Go to bigten.org/Abbott to find a donation location and put Michigan State in the lead.
Thanks for joining us and the Spartan fans here at 1 North for the Jonathan Smith Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Spartan fans, carry the only colors in your wallet with an MSU FCU Visa credit card featuring the iconic Spartan helmet. Earn cash back on every purchase and show your pride with every swipe. Visit msufcu.org today. MSU Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of Spartan Athletics. Jonathan, Jehuu, we're 2/3 of the way through the season. There are 4 games left, and with those 4 games comes a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunities to come, and still goals are still ahead of us. Have the opportunity to win, go to a bowl game, but you can't eat the whole apple at once. You have to take one bite at a time, and that first bite starts this Saturday at Minnesota. So, Coach, what are some of the keys to the game?
Yeah, I think about this game in particular, both offenses have the capability of possessing the ball for a while, so that your actual possessions could be down. You look at the time of possession on both sides, so the efficiency in scoring when you get the opportunity to be critically important. We kind of mentioned the special team side, flipping the field positions, but efficiencies for both offenses, I think that'll be interesting to follow throughout. It could be a really key to the game. I think going on the road anytime, you got to bring your A game in regards to take care of the ball. Your defense needs to travel, the communication on all of that offensively. That all encompasses a road game. And then ultimately, if it comes down to finishing, right? We've talked about things, but this one will be another 4-quarter fight, finishing in the fourth quarter.
Well, and it's going to be a lot of fun to get to. And I mean, you talk about all those different areas that you have to match up the different advantages. For Minnesota, they come in 5th in the country with just 31 penalty yards per game. So not only are they at home, but this is a well-disciplined team, and you've got to match that.
Yeah, disciplined team. You think penalties, but also just the way they take care of the ball. They don't make critical errors on their end, at least what they've shown off of tape. We talk about it defensively, schematics, how there's not a lot of busts, there's not a lot of gimmies out there. It's a well-established program. Coach Fleck's been there 9 years. That's been his MO for a long time.
Certainly. As we said, going to be a lot of fun to watch that one break down. And by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this one earlier, but Minnesota 10th in the nation as well when it comes to sacks per game, just north of 3. How big is protection?
Yeah, no question. It's always critically important on the protection side. So that, again, not just talking to 5 old linemen in front of you, timing, balls coming out and aware of that, and then not staying and blatantly passing downs, right? First down efficiency, staying away from 3rd and 10.
Jay, did you get a win against Minnesota back in the day?
Yes, I scored my first collegiate touchdown against Minnesota.
Hey, there we go. That's reason enough to celebrate. That's a good note to end on as well. Some thank yous on the way out the door. Big thank you to Chris Ordaway, our audio engineer, Matt Contreras Valenzuela, back to the producer in the Skyview Studios, Gage Dansby on the video stream. Big thanks to Brady Kelly for joining us, Coach. Thanks to all the fans, the 1 North Kitchen and Bar staff, and everybody tuning in and listening. For one final time, Jehuu Caulcrick, Jonathan Smith, I'm Dalton Shetler. So long, and go green.
You've been listening to The Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Jonathan Smith Show is also brought to you by MSU FCU. Spartan fans dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union. Meijer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light. Choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartans Athletics and Michigan's premier motor coach company. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. And Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartans shopping experience. The Jonathan Smith Show has been a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved. Join us next time on this network station for all of the action of Michigan State Spartan football, a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.